Morning students, today we are going to start lesson number 11, transportation in animals and plants. In this chapter we are going to learn human circulatory system. What is human circulatory system? It is a system which helps to transport different kind of materials from one part of the body to the other. Now what are the materials that it transport? It can transport digested food, oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. So for that we need the circulatory system. So in this chapter we will learn the different components of this circulatory system. You can see here I have written the first component is the blood. Means the first part of this circulatory system is the blood. Now what is blood? It is a red colored fluid. It is a red colored fluid or the liquid which transport the materials like carbon dioxide, oxygen, digested food, etc. So this blood also has two components further. The two components are, first is the fluid. Fluid is also called the blood plasma. Its name is blood plasma. It is the liquid part of the blood. It can carry the digested food, proteins, etc. It is yellow in color. Remember, it is yellow in color. Next is the solid component. Solid component contains the three kind of cells. The first is the RBCs. It is the RBCs, red blood cells. They are also called erythrocytes. These are red blood cells. They are called erythrocytes. These red blood cells, they carry the oxygen and transport to different parts of the body. And why they are red in color? They are red in color because of the presence of a red pigment called the hemoglobin. That helps them to transport the oxygen from one part to the other. Next is the WBCs, white blood cells. They are also called leukocytes. White blood cells also called leukocytes. These white blood cells, they act like soldiers. Means they fight with the germs that enter into the body and they release some antibodies that will fight with that germs and will protect us from the diseases. Next is the platelets. They are also called thrombocytes. Thrombocytes. These platelets help in the clotting of the blood. Means somehow if you have wound on your body, that wound will get its clotting by the help of these cells. These are called the platelets. Next component of the circulatory system is the blood vessels. Means the path through which the blood flows. These vessels, they are of three types. First is the arteries. They are normally shown with the red color. Means whenever you see them, they will be shown with the red color only. These arteries, what they do is they carry the oxygenated blood, means the blood which is rich in oxygen, from the heart to different parts of the body. There is one exception, which is the pulmonary artery. That pulmonary artery only contains the deoxygenated, or you can say the carbon dioxide rich blood. Normally arteries carry the oxygenated blood. Next thing is that these arteries are thick walled, means their walls inside them, the walls, means you can say the covering or their layer is very thick. The reason is that whenever the blood is being pumped into the arteries, it is at very high pressure, and in order to you can say, so in order to tolerate this very high pressure, these arteries are having very thick walls. Next is the veins. They are normally shown with the blue color. So veins are just opposite of these arteries. They carry the deoxygenated blood, or you can say the carbon dioxide rich blood they carry. But in this also there is an exception, which is the pulmonary vein that carry the oxygenated blood. Now one more thing is there, which is these veins are having very thin walls. They are not thick. The reason is that the blood which is passing through these veins, it is not of very high pressure, so they can tolerate it. So that is why their walls are very thin. The third one is the capillaries. These are the tiny little branches that are formed from these arteries and veins. When these arteries and veins get broken down, they form the capillaries. Means these are the small further little tiny vessels through which the blood flows, and this help in the exchange of the materials. like carbon dioxide, oxygen, digested food, etc. So next part is the heart. This heart acts like a pump. It transports the blood to all parts of the body. So first thing is that this heart is four chambered. It is four chambered, means it has four parts in it. Two are the auricles, two are the ventricles. The part which receives the blood are called the auricles. The part which transport or pump the blood to other body parts, that is the called the ventricles. So these are the auricles, these are the ventricles. Singular will be atrium, plural we call it auricles. Next is there is left side of the heart and the right side. The left side of the heart contains oxygenated blood, means in the left side of our heart it contains the oxygenated blood, and on the right side it will be having the deoxygenated blood. Now this left part, means which is the oxygenated one, and the right part which is the deoxygenated one, they are separated from each other through a wall. That wall is called the septum. That wall is called the septum. Also, our heart has a covering around it, means protective covering. It is double layered. It is called pericardium. 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 This is a double layer covering around the heart. So the next we will discuss the location. The heart is located between the lungs in the chest cavity, means around in the chest area, with the lower end tilted slightly left, means the part of the heart, the lower end of the heart is slightly towards left. Next is that its size. Size of the heart is roughly equal to the size of a closed fist. You can see this closed fist, the heart size is like this only. Next is its actual length and breadth. It's nearly 12 centimeter long, means its length is 12 centimeter, and 8 centimeter broad, means its breadth is 8 centimeter. Discuss the human circulatory system. In that we have discussed three components. First was the blood, second was blood vessels, and third is the heart. So now if we will discuss the blood first. So blood was the red colored fluid that flow through the tiny little vessels. You can see here are the vessels through which the blood will flow, and blood has the two components. First was the fluid. Fluid contains the blood plasma. Blood plasma was the liquid part of the blood and it was yellow in color. Second was the solid components. It contains the all the cells. First was the red blood cell, second was the white blood cell, third was the platelets. So all this blood will flow through these vessels. Next was the blood vessels, different blood vessels. So you can see here two different colored vessels are shown. First is the red one, second is the blue one. You all remember that when we were discussing the blood vessels, I have told you that arteries will be shown with red color. So you can see these red color are the arteries. See here, all these red color are the arteries, and the blue color one are the veins. So you remember that arteries are the ones that carry the oxygenated blood. These arteries carry the oxygenated blood, and they have thick walls. Why they have the thick walls? Because they carry the blood which is at very high pressure. When the heart pumps the blood is at very high pressure, and that blood is being carried by these arteries. And remember one more thing, there was one exception in the arteries, which was the pulmonary artery that carry the deoxygenated blood. You can see this blue color is the pulmonary artery. It will be carrying the deoxygenated blood. We will discuss about them later, but here what we are going to discuss is the arteries and veins. Next is the veins. See, these blue colored are the veins. You all remember that I have told you veins will be shown with the blue color. See, these are the blue colored veins. They carry the deoxygenated blood, and they have thin walls because the blood inside them is of very less pressure. Next is that there is also exception in this, which is the pulmonary vein. That pulmonary vein will be carrying the oxygenated blood. So after that we have discussed the capillaries. Capillaries are the tiny vessels that are formed from these arteries and veins. When these arteries and veins they break, further into small sized vessels. Those vessels are called the capillaries. These capillaries help the exchange of the things like carbon dioxide, oxygen, etc. So now we will discuss the heart. You all remember that our heart is the organ that pumps the blood to all parts of the body using these blood vessels, different blood vessels, and it is located between the lungs in the chest cavity with its lower end tilted towards left. See, the lower end is little towards left side, and the size of the heart is roughly equal to the size of a closed fist. See, its size is roughly equal to this fist size, and its actual length is 12 centimeter, around 12 centimeter, and its breadth is 8 centimeter. Next is that it has a double layered membranous sac around it in which it is present, and that double layered is called the pericardium. Double layered membrane is called the pericardium, and this heart has 4 chambers. Our heart has 4 chambers. 2 are the auricles and 2 are the ventricles. So now we are going to discuss is the blood flow, means how the blood flows from the heart to different parts of the body and then from the body parts back to the heart. So what happens is, when the our cells or the body parts uses the oxygen, they produces the carbon dioxide after the respiration process. Now this carbon dioxide is being taken by the blood from various parts of the body through the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. The superior vena cava receives the blood from the upper part of the body. See, this is the superior vena cava. It will receive the blood from the upper part, and from the lower part the blood will be received through this. This is the inferior vena cava. Superior vena cava receives the blood from the upper part of the body, and the inferior vena cava receives the blood from the lower part of the body, and this inferior vena cava is the largest vein of our body. Next, what happens is, when they both have received the blood will enter inside the right auricle. From the vena cava, from the both vena cavas, the blood will enter firstly into the right atrium. This right atrium will contract and will pass the blood to the right ventricle. And between these two, this right atrium and right ventricle, there is a valve which will prevent the backflow. This valve is called the tricuspid valve. This valve is called the tricuspid valve. It is for the prevention of backflow of blood from ventricle to the auricle. Now how it happens, when this ventricle contracts, there is a chance that the blood can move backwards. To prevent this backflow, this valve is present. Next, what happens is, when this ventricle contracts, this right ventricle contracts, it pushes the blood into the lungs through the pulmonary artery. See, this is the pulmonary artery. When the ventricle contracts, it will push the blood to this pulmonary artery, and from this pulmonary artery the blood will move towards the lungs. From the lungs it will give out the carbon dioxide, and the blood will take in the oxygen. Now it has become the oxygenated blood, and this oxygenated blood through the pulmonary vein will enter inside our heart. See, these are the pulmonary veins. These two are the pulmonary veins, red color. They will bring the oxygenated blood from the lungs in the left atrium. See, this is the left atrium, and this oxygenated blood will be pumped into the left ventricle when this atrium will contract. The left atrium will contract and will pump the blood to the left ventricle. Now between these two a valve is present again. This is the bicuspid valve. This valve will prevent the backflow, as it has done in this case. This was the tricuspid, here it is the bicuspid valve. This valve also prevents the backflow of blood, means whenever this left ventricle will contract, there is a chance of the backflow of blood. Means when it will contract, the blood can move backwards. Now to prevent this backflow, this valve is present, and it will prevent the backflow of the blood and the blood will move only in one direction. When the left ventricle contracts, it pumps the blood to the aorta. So you can see this red colored artery is the aorta. It is the largest artery of our body. This artery will carry the oxygenated blood to all parts of the body except the lungs. Means it will carry the oxygen rich blood to all parts of our body except the lungs. So next is that when the oxygenated blood from this artery will pass to the body parts, there these arteries will break into the capillaries. You all remember we have discussed about capillaries. The artery, this aorta will break into arteries, and that arteries will further break into the small little blood vessels called capillaries. And through these capillaries only there will be exchange of the things, means like oxygen will be given out to the cells and carbon dioxide will be taken in. And when the blood has taken the carbon dioxide, now it will have the deoxygenated blood inside it, and this deoxygenated blood will be carried back to the heart through the vena cavas as we have discussed in the starting. So from these two vena cavas the blood will come back to the heart. In this way this process will continue and the heart will keep on pumping the blood to different parts of the body. So this was about the human circulatory system.